handful of questions that are, similar topics. Obviously not the same questions, but, whatever. We figure we should go over various things. Donald,
Yes.
what's a trough? Because this was my number one question from the homework, because half the people didn't know what a trough was, and I understand why. I don't know if you're gonna know, I just figured I'd pick it. You're random because you're on your phone.
Yeah. At least I know what a prop is.
Oh, okay, good.
It's also like a cowboy.
Yeah.
And a nerd.
It's
Wait, what?
it's like a little. It's like a long bucket for like pigs to eat out of or something like that, or some animal.
Animals do that.
Yeah.
Like the way they described it was absolutely terrible. In the package, the way they described it.
I don't think they actually described you what a trough was, it just gave you
Like,
dimensions.
the dimensions of it, like
Yeah.
it has this and that, and it was not very well done. I couldn't visualize what it
So a trough is a triangular prism that is hollow. It's essentially a Boy Scout tent upside down, so that animals can eat out of it. That's a trough. You fill them with food or water. Oh yeah, sorry. It's basically a super cheap thing to make so that animals can eat out of it. It's really easy to make because you just take a couple boards. And so that's why they're pretty popular for animals. Obviously, they're kind of stupid because all the food gets stuck on the bottom, whatever. We're just going to overlook details of this. This particular trough is apparently for feeding milk cows. Okay. It's 8 feet long. Now, I'm going to write the 8 feet on there because if it's telling us it's 8 feet long, that's never going to change. It's not variable. The ends of the trough are in the shape of an equilateral triangle whose sides are 2 feet long. Oh, okay. 2, 2, 2. Sounds good. Grain is poured into the trough at a rate of 5 cubic feet per minute. The cubic feet. Who's going to roll somebody? All right, no, that's fine. So table 10. 10. What does that stand for?
Volume.
It stands for volume because cubic feet is going to be a volume dimension. So 5 cubic feet per minute. Okay. Per minute is the wording that tells me it's derivative. So this is derivative of volume. The fact that we have the derivative of volume is 100% our clue that we are going to be using the volume of this trough formula. Find the rate at which the grain level is rising. So rate is keyword for derivative. So find the derivative, the level is rising. I haven't even labeled that on here, but that's what we're going to find. I'll probably call that H, just because me writing an L is bad. So I want to find how fast the height of the grain is rising as you pour it. All right. Well, when the depth reaches 8 inches, that is super annoying. Super annoying. 8 inches, what is that, 8 out of 12, 2/3? 2/3 of a foot. Unfortunately, that is super common on the AP test. They will switch, not labelings, units. They will switch units within the middle of a problem. Make sure you make it uniform. Everything else up there is in feet. So it would be easier to change everything else to inches, except for like you got cubic feet, so you'd have to do it times 12, times 12, times 12. So I don't want to change it to cubic inches or anything else. So I'm going to leave those alone and just change this one. So it told us the height of the grain was about 2/3 of a foot. It did not tell us anything about the base. Ooh, wait, call on a table.
5.
5. What's the volume for a trough? Because you wouldn't be given that on the text. So this is a prism. It's a prism when you have the same shape on both sides, and it's just connected. All prisms, the volume is the area of the end times the depth. So what would I write for the volume of this one? Area of triangle. And then times the depth or length, whatever variable you want to call it. But on this one, I actually don't need to use a variable because it's always 8. Because even if this is filled with grain, right, it's still going to be 8 feet of grain. So the triangle is the only shape that the dimensions change. The 8 is always going to be 8. Okay, so this is 4BH. Okay. And normally that would be fine, and I could do the derivative from there. Minus, wait, can you guys give me another table number? 3. Sophia, normally this is fine, but we have an issue with the information that we were told and the equation we have. What information is basically completely missing in the problem? Yeah, perfect. I don't have anything for base, so I'm probably going to have to substitute that out if I can. Over on the side here, I'm going to draw my equilateral triangle. I just came out better than I expected. And we know the equilateral triangle is 2, 2, 2. But I don't know how the height is compared to the base. So, if I draw the height in here, I can figure out that number because this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. This would be 1, this would be 1. Sophia, do you want to call on a table for me so they can tell me how to figure out that number? Man, everybody's dying in here today. What is... I don't want to get sick by the weekend. It's supposed to be nice. You guys are awfully quiet. You're awfully quiet. How do I figure out that number for the height? Do whatever you want. I'm just asking you how to figure it out.
Okay, so you have 2 squared equals 1 squared plus h squared.
Pythagorean theorem would work.
Yeah.
You should be able to do that in your head. I see you writing it down.
I like writing it down. It's
Oh,
easy to
man.
think about it.
Okay? Pythagorean theorem would give you square root of 3.
Right.
How should we have figured that out without doing Pythagorean theorem? 30, 60, 90 triangle. So it's from the unit circle triangles. 30, 60, 90 triangle, 1 to 2, square root of 3. Okay, well, now I know the ratio of the trough. But I don't actually want all that info. What I want to do is be able to figure out how to substitute between base and height. I don't know if I want to call on a table for this. How do I use those numbers to figure out how to substitute those letters?
3 over 1 equals 8 inches over x. That'll be,
Close.
or I guess we go over 2.
So what you just described was how to figure out what the base would be when that's 8 inches. Which isn't wrong. I actually don't want to do that. I want to get rid of that letter before I do the derivative, because it would be a lot less work. So what you said was good, and that's actually the start of the setup. what does the square root of 3 relate to? It relates to the height on that picture. The 1 relates to the base. Okay? That's how you set up your proportion. And once I have them set up, or, in the right spots, if I cross multiply, this would say square root of 3 times b equals 1 times h. And then that's an equation that tells me how to substitute them out. Table, I don't know, 7. I rolled a 7. How do I use that to get rid of b? I want to get rid of b because there's nothing up here about b.
B will be h by root 3.
Okay, how'd you get that? Not that it's correct.
Transposition.
Probably. I've never used that word.
Yeah, just shift the root 3 over to the.
Okay. So divide both sides by root 3. And then you basically just solve for b, right?
And substitute h by root 3 is equal to b.
Perfect. And that's what you're going to put in place of b. Now my formula will not have a base in it, which is good because none of the info up there had a base. What was it done? Table 12.
Then, we take the derivative.
Okay.
So it's gonna be dv over dt equals, you leave the 4 alone. So 1/2
Are you doing product rule on that? That's what it sounds like you're about to tell me.
no,
It's not wrong, but way more work than you should do.
well, I just said leave the 4 alone.
Yeah, so that's why I thought you were trying to tell me about product rule.
Oh, okay. Oh.
What were you gonna tell, sorry, I cut you off, tell me.
No, I don't really know actually.
It would be a 3 to the 1/2 power.
Simplify this first.
Okay, then it would be 4 times the height, which would be 2 or 8. No, wait.
You told me to take derivative, now you're telling me to put numbers in.
Wait.
H squared.
Marvel, save them.
Marvel something.
You're supposed to use the division rule with
What's the quotient?
the quotient rule.
I could, I definitely don't want to. Are you talking about for that term or for this?
For that term, H over
This one?
no, yeah.
Wouldn't it be 4?
There isn't anything wrong with what you guys are telling me, but you would absolutely be destroying yourselves on a test, trying to do what you're explaining, because that would require you to do product rule and quotient rule within the same. These are all the same variable. So, and they're all being multiplied, so put together the numbers and put together the variables. So this is equivalent to 4 over root 3 times h squared.
So then you do 4 over root 3 dh dt times 2h?
Yeah, power rule, correct. So the numeric multiplier stays as it is, and then you do the power rule on h squared. And I'll back up. What you guys were saying before was 100% correct. It would work if you did product rule and then did the quotient rule within the product rule. And that would work. It's just, it would simplify down to this at the end anyway. 2h, so sorry, what did you say?
Times DHCT.
Good, times dh dt. Sorry. You're passing it on to me.
Can't you put in the 5?
So now we can put in some numbers because we have the derivative info up here. Where does the 5 go? Or do you want me to send this to another table at this stage?
5 goes to the dv dt.
Those two I can put together.
And then you can,
2/3.
Oh, I forgot, you guys don't have this written. This is in the back of the packet. I'm assuming some of you guys figured that out. This is part of the review. I just typed this out up here.
I
But,
think you need-
but if you're writing it down somewhere else, that's fine. I forgot you guys weren't looking at it. I was wondering why you couldn't just give me the numbers, but then I remembered you looking at the same thing as me.
times 2/3.
Times 2/3? What did you put 2/3 in place of?
3.
Yep. So don't put in 8 inches, put in 2/3. And then what do I put in place of DHDT?
Nothing.
Good.
That's what we're solving.
That's what we're solving for. This is pretty horrible. So we've got 16 over 3√3. So I'm gonna need to multiply the left-hand side by 3√3 over 16. This is kind of a bad answer. On the test tomorrow, you guys are able to use your calculators. I kind of remember somebody in here asking about that. So on the test tomorrow, I wouldn't write 15√3 over 16. I would change that to a decimal with 3 decimal places. If I need to put that in the directions on the test, maybe I should. Would that be helpful? Do you guys, would it be?
Yeah.
Actually, now that I say that, should I treat this as like a calculator portion of the AP test where every question should be done in calculator, even if it's a nice answer?
No.
Okay, so, I guess I'm probably okay with either an exact answer or a decimal approximation.
The packet says that's the wrong answer.
That's no good.
It was, it's not, it says the right answer is A. Yeah, so,
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, it says A. It says the right answer is 2812, and that simplifies down to 1.624.
I think I know where the problem was.
Did I forget something?
We found the relation between base and height.
Yep.
You did base of half of.
Wait. Oh, yeah, this should have been a 2, shouldn't it?
There's a problem, there's 2 inch over the base. Oh, 2 inch over the base.
Well, that's annoying.
But
Yep. How come nobody stopped me at that point? You guys are supposed to know by now that I'm only human.
this thing's so much more complicated.
I would agree with that.
That's problem.
So I wrote down the ratio for the small triangle, but yet we were interested in the information for the whole equilateral triangle. That's annoying. We got all the way to the end too.
I say we go to the next one.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna go through and correct all that. I'm just annoyed that I spent all the time recording and then we did it wrong. So where would that change to? This should be what?
8 over.
2h over root 3?
This would just be 8 over.
I guess it actually isn't that much correcting, but still, I'm just annoyed. Okay, next one. I wasn't gonna do a ton of the related rate ones just because how much time did they got. I did decide to do only one on the test. Don't know if that's right or not, but we're just gonna go with it. Okay, linear approximation, I think I have just the one example. I think I picked most examples on L'Hopital's because that was what most people felt like they were not doing that solid on for the last couple days. Linear approximation, table hasn't gone yet. No, you guys went. Table 1 hasn't gone. Donald, you went, not your table.
Okay.
You were on your phone. That was because you were on your phone, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm ready.
Do you remember what a linear approximation is? So like this is asking me to find L of X.
Isn't that just the tangent line?
Good?
Or the tangent, line formula?
Yeah, yeah. So we're just finding the tangent line to this equation at 1.
Yeah.
All right, table 1, how do I do that? It might be. I know the L'Hopital ones are
That's
not.
the number 5.
Okay, number 5 in the packet. The L'Hopital's questions, most of them I took out of a different book.
We could take the derivative of x squared dx.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Add. So it would be 2x times e dx.
Mm-mm. Oh, gotcha, you said times 1. Yeah, you can do that, that's fine. So over here, he just did the derivative of x squared. You don't need to do times 1 if you don't want, because we're already in x's, but yes. So if you wrote times 1, it's correct. There's another hat.
Oh.
Alright, you're correct.
Okay.
I was waiting for table 1 to tell me. They gave me half of the, wait, did you just do the derivative of both? Maybe that's what you, yeah. This is supposed to be product rule.
Oh.
Okay,
Sorry.
e to the x was probably a bad example because I didn't realize you were giving me the derivative already.
Oops, my bad.
I wrote plus because I was expecting you to give me the other half of the product rule.
Oh, it's x squared. Yeah, it's just x squared e dx.
Okay. Yep, there we go, nice job. We'll pretend that that's what you intended all along.
Exactly, that is.
Yeah, product rule because they were being multiplied. And then now we need f prime of 1.
Then plug in 1,
2e plus e, 3e. Okay? Do you guys want to keep going?
We'll keep that as slope, right? We'll do slope 21.
Why are you asking me? Oh, ask them. Are you talking about point slope formula?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but you're missing something. You're missing a point. We got slope.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
fine,
When you said slope formula, I thought you meant y2 minus y1. Gotcha. Point slope. Yeah, you need to find f of 1 as well.
It should be,
E.
E, yeah.
Okay? So this means the point is 1, oh god, point is 1e.
And so then it would be L of x, or technically L of 1.
I think on the test it says L of x equals, and then there's a blank.
Oh, okay. And then, it would be 3e, parentheses, x minus 1, plus e.
Perfect. Now, if you wanted to simplify this, sure. Otherwise, I'd rather you just leave it like that. But if you want to simplify it, you can.
And
Ooh, you guys did perfect.
Oh.
Now it's time for table 2.
okay.
Although you kind of got ditched today a little bit.
Just go.
You just plug in 1. No, that would give me nothing. Yeah, that would give me nothing.
1, 1.
We're not trying to estimate or approximate 1.
Oh, 1.1, a little bit.
So you have to plug in 1.1. So L of 1.1 is going to be the estimation of 1.1. If we plugged in 1, you would just find out very quickly that it's times 0, so it doesn't really tell you anything. Okay, so 1.1 would be 3e times 1.1 minus 1 plus e. So 0.1 times 3e is 0.3, 0.3e. plus E, 1.3E. Or you just make it a decimal. Oh, did I do something wrong?
No, I'm just,
Today would have been really bad if I did that, huh?
oh, yeah. But are we just basically treating E like another X, like another variable?
No, you treat it like a pi. I mean, you kind of treat it like a variable.
Like how we.
E is
simplified-
a
Yeah, you would put it like. What?
E is like pi, where it's a number that goes on forever, but
Yeah.
there isn't an exact.
Well, yeah, when you combine like terms, just like another variable.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it from?
Yeah.
Nature.
Is it natural logarithm?
It's considered the natural number because it shows up in nature a lot, like the ratio between leaves or petals that grow. Like at the bottom of a stalk, the leaves are farther apart, and as you get closer to the top, the leaves are closer together. Like if you think of a rose or something, like, so thorns coming out the side, there's a ratio as how they get smaller. No, it's a form of E. So E shows up a lot of different ways. I'm assuming they go over it a lot more, like in certain biology things, you know, whatever it is. I haven't had much experience working with E. I just know that's where it comes from.
Okay. I just didn't remember going over that before, so I was just checking.
Yeah, it's not even, it's like pi. You actually never go over how they discovered pi, they just tell you about pi to start with, and then you just use it. But yeah,
When we're fully simplifying all these down, we get our answers in terms of E, do you want to stay that way, or do you want us to multiply out?
I'd be okay with either. But I'm wondering if I should just write it in the directions of the problem, so that there's no confusion.
The AP test had like E on the FRQ, would they want you to leave it as E, or would like you have to simplify it down to what the rest of it would
That depends if it is the calculator portion or not.
be?
If it is the non-calculator portion, that's what they would want.
Okay.
Calculator portion, they would want it multiplied out to the
What's the
decimal.
third decimal? Okay.
And we'll get done. 12, okay, good. I'm not looking for nice writing. What? Oh, sorry.
Do we have the 5% error, like on the last?
Yeah, that was confusing.
I don't think I put it on there.
I don't even remember.
I must not have, because I don't remember it. If I do have a question on it, that would be something where you would be given the formula, because it's just not super common. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think this is in your packet. I took the, if I remember right, I took this one out of the textbook and/or out of the Barron's prep book. There's not many L'Hopital questions out there on the internet.
Okay, first step equals 0 over 0 crossed out.
Technically, yes.
That really excites you a lot. I don't know, is it just the crossing out part that you love?
Yeah.
That works?
It's just like petty.
Oh my God. I don't even know where I got the 4 from in my head. So like that?
Yes.
Excellent, okay, sure. Now what? Oh, good, take the derivative. What's the derivative of the top?
X minus 4.
No. This would be 3x minus 12, and then the derivative would just be 3. How about the bottom?
2x.
Good? Perfect. Perfect.
On the test, we give points for doing that if it's not the free response that makes, you know what I'm talking about? How there's gonna be
Once
one-
we're doing what?
Our work, because we didn't write
Like a writing.
we did like X.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So 3 of the 4 questions, I'm just gonna be looking at your scratch work like this and how you're getting the answer.
Oh.
Because I just want you basically doing most of it in your head. This is how you kind of write out your thought process. I'm not looking for you to rewrite limits, I'm not looking,
Oh,
only one question I want you to actually write nicely. Cause otherwise it just takes up too much time.
this is just for like the free response questions for this. When if it like didn't apply, like if like the rule didn't apply, would you just say like since the limit and it doesn't equal 0/0 or whatever, would you just say the rule, the hospital doesn't apply? Like,
You just made my French exchange student cringe. Bad. No, because you wouldn't even bring up L'Hôpital's if it doesn't apply, like,
okay,
if it didn't apply, you wouldn't try to use it.
okay.
Are you just talking about our test?
I was talking about like just for notation, like if they like want you to, okay.
No, cause if it didn't apply, you wouldn't even
That's what they do.
go that route, you would just do whatever it has.
Okay.
Say what?
That's what they do in the answer.
Do what? Oh, I don't like that lady's answer key. So, I know she wrote L'Hôpital's doesn't apply because this is a L'Hôpital section. But if you're doing a limit problem and he was given one, you wouldn't randomly say, I'm not gonna use L'Hôpital's. Like, you would just not even go that route, you would just do whatever it calls for. So yeah, I get it. There were quite a few questions on the answer key, I didn't really like how they were phrased or written.
If we do, on the next example.
Good, I want you to move up.
Could you refresh how we would write it out for that one problem? Because I want to be interested. Is there any specific way you want it? Or can we just say,
Don't
because
you have our
this
notes?
limit equals 0, L'Hôpital's applies?
Is it, wait, didn't you write the notes?
Yeah.
Don't worry, you can't write 0/0.
I say that because it's gonna take me 10 minutes to write it, and we've only got 10 minutes left.
I'll explain it to him.
Excellent, otherwise, the method that she wrote in the answer keys on the official problems, not the homework questions, but go look at the notes. Because the homework questions didn't have any space to write anything.
Yeah.
Or I recorded us doing the official ones together too.
Perfect.
So, sine of 6x over 4x, 0/0. Just for you, I'll cross it out. Now what?
Take the derivative.
Okay, what's the derivative?
Goes out to 6x over.
Over 4.
Oh, no, it's not, it's over 4.
A lot of you on the last test didn't reduce normal things when you got to that point, so I'm not gonna take off a lot of points when you do that, but I definitely will. Like, I wanna say it was like half of everybody left the answer as square root of 8. No, maybe that was unit 3. Yeah, that was the unit 3 test. Way too many people left an answer with square root of 8, which, it's not like it's wrong, it's just not fully right, so.
Root of 8? Yes.
That's 2 root 2. Are you gonna like infect us all?
It's just my asthma, it's gonna dry out.
I'm kidding. I wasn't trying to like target. I was just giving you grief.
Keep giving them
Half the days I can't talk right anymore. All right.
Was that 3-2 the answer?
Yeah. Oh, it was just the one step.
Oh shoot. Can we do that with infinity?
Yep, I need some work on that.
Infinity one was requested.
Yeah, yeah, oh wait, yeah.
Sine of 6x.
2 over infinity is the final answer.
It's 0.
Damn,
Brought out for the rest of us.
Yeah, divide by 4. Yeah, we're just.
You're correct. Sort of. I mean, you can't write 2 over infinity, but yes. Okay, so infinity over infinity. If I give you a question about infinity, I know there were a lot of them in your homework that were gray areas. I say gray areas because they could have been solved by a different method, not L'Hôpital's. And even working with infinity is sometimes gray area anyway, because you're not really supposed to write. You're not supposed to just like cross off terms that are lower powered and like. We do that because that's how we can just figure out an answer with very little work. On a test, I wouldn't do that. On a test, I would give you a question that has a solidified method to do that. So like this one, we get that. Then we do derivatives. Then we do derivatives again. 25 e to the 5x. And Spencer was right.
Zero, right?
Yeah. So if I give you an infinity question on the test, it is not going to be one that can be done with multiple methods. I specifically want questions that you have to show you know how to do the derivative, because I feel like I've been having to remind you guys a lot about derivatives the last couple weeks. Which I sort of get why, right? But that's partially what I want you to show me is you know how to do the derivative and you know how to use the derivative to find the L'Hopital's answer. So I'm not gonna give you a question that can be done with a different method because I don't want you, not that I care that you know how to do it a different way, but I'm specifically looking for derivative usage and L'Hopital's usage. So that's for test purposes.
Okay, so if it was like a limit at infinity, we would just, they would, like, the only way to solve it basically would be L'Hopital's, not the only way, but like, the way you should use. Okay.
On the test, are you gonna like, or do you know if there's any that are like weird things that we're supposed to memorize? Like,
I do know, I definitely wouldn't tell you.
okay.
I'm assuming you're referring more to like formulas for volumes and areas?
Like that, but then also like just.
Oh, like sine of x over x and 1 minus cosine x over x?
Yeah, and like just the weird ones like that, or like sine of
Like
something,
derivatives.
blah, blah, blah. Or not sine of derivatives.
If it's something we've learned this year, I don't consider it weird, no.
Will we, sorry, for when the answer's like infinity, and it's just infinity, that's doesn't exist, right?
I'm okay with that if you wanna write.
Okay.
So if the answer comes out to be infinity, the way they frequently write it on the multiple choice is like this, so that there's no confusion. Yeah, I'd accept it.
I have one more question just about the test. You said there was no money columns, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know, I like, they should be easy, but the terminology seems to be so different that it feels like you have to memorize a whole other set of terminologies to be able to do the problems, and that just, I don't want that. I want you to focus on what we're focused on. Okay, I'll stop here.
For the day?
What?
For the day?
We end at
Yeah, we're done in 4 minutes.
Can I check some more?
Can we go over units real quick? Because, like,
What do you mean?
for like, because depending on the derivative or like what the question is asking, either like a measurement per second or a measurement per second squared.
You wouldn't have one with per second squared, because that would be like a second derivative traditionally. For related rates, we would only do first derivative information. I guess theoretically you already could, but that would mean the original equation would have like something per second, and then its derivative would be. I don't think I've ever run into this. I don't think I've ever seen it do something like that. Not that it's wrong, but it's.
I think it was one thing, I think it's hard, but I think it's been talking